Continuing on talking about polynomials, we're going to be classifying polynomials. Remember, we started with monomials, which means we weren't adding or subtracting anything. So we've got to be able to look at polynomials and understand that polynomials and monomials are related. We can actually make monomials look like polynomials. Now, I'm not going to go through all of that, and that'll be a different video or time in class. But for our purposes here, what we're looking at is we're trying to classify a polynomial, and I brought up that last thing, that a monomial and a polynomial can look alike because A looks like a monomial, and it is. It's just also a polynomial. So kind of like 1 is both a whole number and it's a decimal, which means it's an integer. But it's also a real number. So there's other categories things can fall in, or multiple categories things can fall in, and sometimes they can fall into a lot, and sometimes it's only one. Sometimes they can go forwards into a lot, but they can't go backwards into others. So in this case, when we're talking about standard form for negative 3z to the fourth, writing it in standard form is the same thing as writing it as just negative 3z to the fourth. Now let me show you why this is a polynomial. I could write plus 0z to anything I wanted, let's say to the third, because 0 times anything is 0 and 0 plus anything is itself, so it has the same value. That's why it could be a polynomial. We could have had a coefficient of 0 times other z's to other powers. That 0 just made it disappear or go away. Now, the degree that this first one is written in is to the fourth degree because the only variable is the variable z, so I look to its exponent. Its exponent is 4, therefore it's the fourth degree. And the type that it is, it's a monomial. Monomial. All right. On B, we have 3 terms, or we have 3 polynomials. So we need to be able to look at which one has the highest degree of exponent on the variable. Now, our variable here is x. The 4 has an x to the 0. 2 is greater than 0. And this minus x has an exponent of 1 or to the first. So the 2 is the largest, so it comes out. So I'm going to take the whole term, the positive 5x squared. The next one would be minus x to the first. And then that's a positive 4x to the 0. Now that I have everything in order, I'm going to write it back into its original. So I'm just going to put 5x because we don't need a plus sign to start everything out. Minus x because I added the 1, so I can take it back away. And then because I added the x to the 0, I'm just going to leave this as 4. So the standard form of 4 plus 5x squared minus x is 5x squared minus x plus 4. There are going to be tricks coming up where it's very important that we get this order correct because those tricks only work if it is in order and they look a certain way. Now, the degree, we have to remember that we have an x here and an x here. There was a 1. Actually, let me go back to here. There's an x here and x here because I don't want to make it look like I'm changing the order. So we also have an x here. So we get 2 plus 1 plus 0, and that's equal to 3. So this is to the third degree. And because there's multiple monomials, as a matter of fact, there's 3. So this is actually a trinomial. All right, remember, mono means 1. Bi means 2, tri means 3, and that's about it. Once you get into fourth, you just start saying the fourth degree, things like that. Fifth degree, blah, 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 blah. Now, in standard form, 8q plus 5, q to the fifth, that would be the same as q to the fifth plus 0 times q to the fourth plus 0 times q to the third plus 0 times, do you see why we don't write all these? Now, if I rewrote all of that, now it's in order. And all these zeros I didn't actually need, so I'm going to take them back out. Get rid of that one. Move this one closer. And I'm going to see that now it's in standard form. I have q to the fifth plus 8q. Well, that's q to the first. So I now have everything in order, descending order according to exponents. And the degree is going to be this 1 plus this 5, which is going to equal 6. So this is a 6th degree binomial because there were originally and still are 2 terms.